Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel and today's video. So the Swedish words of the day is unpopular opinion, which is in Swedish opopulär åsikt. Opopulär åsikt. So today, I think you all have guessed it by the title, by the intro, we are going to talk about some of my personal unpopular opinions. So I actually saw Jackie Aina do this type of video on her channel, and I guess you all know who Jackie Aina is, but she did it while doing her makeup, and I thought, you know what, I have done so many makeup tutorials as of lately that I just wanted to do my makeup off camera and sit down and talk a little bit about my unpopular opinions. So I won't get disrupted if I get mascara in my eye or, you know, whatever, something along those lines. But I will tell you. So I did use some of the mattes in the Lemonade palette by Dominique Cosmetics, only these two, because I rave and rave about them. I adore them, but then I also kicked it old school and went back to the Jaclyn Hill palette by Morphe and dug into some of these mattes. This is just phenomenal in my opinion. I think that this palette is pretty good. But that is not an unpopular opinion, but I just thought that I would share that. But if you want to know what the rest of the makeup I have on my face, I list everything down below in the description box, and I will also leave Jackie Aina and Jackie Aina's video. But I also feel the need to do a little bit of a disclaimer. I don't like to do disclaimers, but if I won't do a disclaimer in this video, I will have a bunch of comments. So I just thought that, okay, let's do a disclaimer today. So I just wanted to say that these are my opinions and my opinions only. This does not affect how I feel about you. For instance, I am going to talk about certain things that I think that some of you guys do or like that I don't like, for instance, and that is okay. I respect your opinion, so I wish that you could respect my opinion. As I said, these are just opinions and we don't have to agree, but we can be civil. So that is just what I wanted to say, but let's just hop into the first unpopular opinion. So my first unpopular opinion is that I don't like copycat makeup. So by that, I mean when a brand steals a design and they steal the layout, they steal the entire idea, and I just don't like that. Brands like Bad Habit that you can find on Shop Hush website, it's just not appealing to me. I understand why a lot of people buy from them and why a lot of people like dupes, because some people might be younger than me and maybe doesn't have a job or doesn't have a lot of money or don't want to spend a lot of money. Some people have money, but they just don't want to spend it on makeup because it's not their cup of tea. Then sure, I understand it, but to me, it's just not okay. But to me, a dupe palette is okay, but not a copycat palette. And I will explain that a little bit more as I go. And the reason why I say palette is because usually that is what we are duping. We are duping an eyeshadow palette, and highlighter palette, a bronzer palette, a blush palette, or something along those lines. We don't usually see dupes of foundations, or, you know, there's only so many foundations you can do. But for instance, say that Anastasia Beverly Hills comes out with a palette, and then W7 comes out with this palette, and I've been asked to review it, and I've been like, no, I don't want to do it. That to me is like not okay, because they steal the exact layout, they steal the design, and they steal the colors, the exact same colors. They don't steal the names of the colors, and they don't steal the name of the palette, but they just change a few things. And to me, that is just like, no, that is not okay at all. I just don't like that, especially not with the amount of palettes that we have. Oh my God, my neighbors like pulling their furniture or something, but especially not with the amount of palettes that we have on the market today, where we can find alternatives. And with alternatives, I mean dupes. So what I mean with dupes is, for instance, let's take the notorious Urban Decay Born to Run palette, but then also take the Colourpop Perception palette that was a collaboration with Makeup Shayla. They came out sort of at the same time. There wasn't enough time for any one of the brands to dupe each other. The Colourpop palette came out first, and then the Urban Decay palette came out. If Urban Decay wanted to steal this idea, they wouldn't have enough time for it when their palette was released. And this is why I think it's acceptable, because this was just random. They both had a vision, they both had an idea, they went with it, and they came out pretty similar. But they have not stolen the exact design. You can see that there are some differences to the palettes. The palettes have a completely different layout, completely different packaging, completely different sort of vision behind it, but they still dupe out each other. So to me, that is okay, but a copycat thing is just not okay, because as a person that actually has come out with a palette, believe it or not, I can say that. That is just crazy to me. But I would be heartbroken if someone stole my kind of vision and my kind of design. I am okay with people being inspired by it or duping it in their own kind of collection instead of going ahead and purchasing it. But when it comes to someone stealing someone else's design, I think that that is just so tacky, and I just don't like it. So the beauty industry has been flooded with eyeshadow palettes. Every time a brand is starting up, they're coming out with a new eyeshadow palettes and so on, and we have become a little bit more picky just because of the fact that we have huge collections as it is. I mean, even if you feel like you don't have that many palettes, but you have 10 eyeshadow palettes, that is like still, that is a lot. Like 10 eyeshadow palettes, it's a lot of palettes if we're gonna be real honest here. I think that it's great that we are being more picky, but at the same time, there is a lot of requests for smaller palettes, and that we want them to be smaller but curated in a better way. We want the color story to be better, and in general, smaller palettes. And I understand that idea. I don't know if I've talked about this on my channel, but maybe I have said that, you know what, they could curate this down, they could be a little bit smaller than this, but you know what, I've come to realize I don't like small palettes. This is a small palette, this is from Natasha Denona. If we're just gonna talk about not the quality, because I don't like this, as you guys know, but I think that this is a phenomenal color story and I totally get it. But to me, it's like two mattes. What kind of different eye looks can I get? The same way with this Sigma palette. This is the Sigma Viper palette. This contains 6 shadows, and 3 are mattes, 3 are shimmers. To me, I can only get so many uses, or I can only get so many different looks out of this palette. I cannot get that many. But if we instead take the ColourPop Good Sport palette that is almost the same size as the Sigma Viper palette, as you can see, it's just a little bit taller. We get 12 shades, but this I can get multiple different looks out of. I can do something really purple, something really nice, and then I can do something just warm with these ones, and like the yellow, pop in the yellow in, or use one, this shimmer for instance, on the lid with that warm look, and get a really good daytime look, like a little bit of a softer look than what I have going on right now. Or I can do something green right here, like I can do a bunch of different looks, and I can mix and match together. But with a palette like the Natasha Denona, I can only get that so many looks out of it, and I am not a person that loves to use the same shades in a palette over and over and over and over again. I do prefer to use a bunch of different shades. I feel like makeup for me is sort of like clothes. You want to wear different clothes, you might not want to wear the same shirt that you wore yesterday, so you change. That is me. I am like that with my makeup. I don't want to wear the same lipstick every day of the month, and I don't want to use this palette for an entire week even. That would be just disturbing to me. Not disturbing, but it would be painful for me. So I have come to realize that I don't need a 35 eyeshadow palette, but I think that the Anastasia ones are good, or the ColourPop ones are the smallest I want to go. Or even the ColourPop 9-pan palettes that they have. I think that those are phenomenal as well. But smaller than that? So while we are on the topic of eyeshadows, let's continue. So there is a really big trend, just because of the fact that we, as I said, have so many palettes already. We have almost all of the shades that we want, and with me saying we, I don't mean everyone, but I mean the people that are like me, that has a lot of palettes, that has a lot of makeup, that don't need a palette with 20 browns, or you know what I mean. So single shadows has become really popular. A lot of indie brands right now are popping with their single shadows, like Sydney Grace, Divina, Luxie, Cleona, a bunch of different brands, like even Colourpop and Makeup Geek. Not maybe Makeup Geek, they are, I don't know where Makeup Geek is going, but anyway, just that's not the point. But there's a trend going on where you can go ahead and instead of purchasing maybe, for instance, if we're gonna talk about the Good Sport palette again, if I would have bought this, I wouldn't have wanted this because this is gonna look gray on me. Even if I swatch this, this will look gray on me, and we all know that I don't like gray shadows. So to me, I would change this. I don't want this in this palette. I know that I'm not gonna use it. So that is like a dud. So I understand the fact that instead you can go ahead and purchase only the shadows that you want. Say for instance that you don't have a neon green matte or a neon green shimmer. Maybe you want to go ahead and purchase that, or an icy blue shimmer. Maybe you don't have that, so you buy that as a way to add to your collection. So instead of purchasing a palette where you get a few shades maybe that you want, but then you also get some shadows that you don't want, instead you go ahead and purchase single shadows. And I think that that is great. I think that that is super. But to me, I'm like, no. I don't know why, but I have wanted to try so many indie brands this year. And I, especially in the beginning of the year, wanted to try a lot of indie brands that sell single shadows. And now I'm like, I don't even use the single shadows that I have. There was one point last year where I did use my Makeup Geek singles quite a lot off camera, a little bit on camera as well, but a lot of off camera, which was great. But then I was like bored with it, and now I don't use it. I never gravitate towards my palettes. And you guys have said, but do a like color story, do just a few shadows in a palette, and maybe I'll do that and see if that works out. But to me, that is just like, no, I don't know why, but I am not into single shadows. Look at someone like Emily Violet Marie. She depots all of her shadows, like not all of her palettes, but she depots a lot. And she buys a lot of singles. She has all of these different like C palettes with eyeshadows and highlights that have all of these different sizes and shapes, and her palettes look amazing, but I'm just not into that. I love seeing her use it, and I love seeing how she comes up with different color stories, and I think that that is great that you can go ahead and do so. But to me, I'm just like, no, I don't use it. That's why I hate, like, I don't want to depot things, because I know that I won't use it even then. So yeah, I don't know why. Hopefully that will change, but until it does, I'm not gonna purchase single shadows. So the next thing is someone that I think that we are all guilty of, but not me. Raise your hand if you use makeup wipes. I do not. I hate makeup wipes. I'm gonna tell you why. I love makeup wipes for cleaning, for instance, cleaning off swatches, for cleaning off my makeup vanity, like my makeup table, because it does get kind of messy a lot of the times. For that, I love it, but I've realized that maybe it's not. I did see someone comment that makeup wipes are really bad for the environment, so okay, I'm gonna skip that and use my toner and just a pad instead, or just toilet paper and like clean it off, or whatever, like, okay, whatever. But I don't like to clean off my makeup with makeup wipes. The reason for that is because I feel dirty when I've done it. I don't like it. Like, if I take a makeup wipe and I cleanse my face, I still feel dirty. I cannot go in with a moisturizer right after, or toner. Like, I feel so dirty. I still feel like my pores are clogged. I feel like my face isn't clean. I feel like I just have this residue on my face that I just don't like at all. And especially, like, I feel like that I tug at my skin more than I need to. So this is something you don't know about me, but every time I clean my face, I take my cleanser, I don't wet my face, and then I just rub my cleanser into my face. It disrupts the all of the makeup. Sometimes, depending on if I have a waterproof mascara or not, it doesn't disrupt that, but then I just go in with a little bit of an oil cleanser or just plain regular coconut oil, and that just disrupts it right away. Just a little bit, like I just take a little bit, you can't even see it on my finger, do like this, pop it on, disrupts everything. So that is awesome. So then I cleanse my face, not everything is gone. So that is when I take new cleanser, and then I go in with my Foreo and I just cleanse everything off. Sometimes I exfoliate as well, but if we're gonna talk about it day to day, then I do that. Then I go in with my toner, and then I apply my serums, my moisturizer, my eye cream, everything like that. So for me, going in with just a makeup wipe and having all of this residue doesn't work for me. I absolutely hate it, and as I said, I feel like I tug at my skin, like I do this. Okay, I can't do it right now, but I feel like I tug more than I need to, and that's gonna lead to wrinkles, and you know, I don't want that. I am so afraid of needles that I did not take my first blood test until I was 22. And I had to have someone hold my hand, and I had to take this cream so I wouldn't feel anything, and I was sure that I was going to faint. That is someone, like that is me. I am so scared of it. I am so freaking scared of falling and needing to go to the hospital just to get this little thing in my arm. Like I am so scared that I'm so scared of needles in general that I don't want to get Botox, I don't want to get lip fillers or anything like that. I don't have a problem with lip fillers, just gonna throw it out there. I wish I could, like I would love to get a little bit right here, but I'm not going to because I'm too scared. Sorry for the little side note, but for me it's just not really worth it. To me, I just don't really like makeup wipes. I've always had a little bit of a burning sensation with them as well, so to me they just don't work. So I just think I'm gonna stop the video right here. I had a lot more things that I actually wanted to talk about, but I think I went a little bit too, like I talked a little bit too much, which is totally fine, but hope you enjoyed it, and maybe we can do a part 2 if you do enjoy it. So yeah, I'm gonna leave the video right here, but I do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the video, please feel free to thumbs the video down, just so I know, and subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!